The dim constellation of Fornax seems empty, but in reality, it is the true cosmic kitchen of the universe. Here, brutal cosmic cannibalism takes place. Giant radio galaxies ruthlessly devour their smaller stellar neighbors. It was here that the Hubble telescope appeared to photograph 10,000 galaxies at the very edge of time. Like in the oven of the Roman goddess Fornax, new stellar worlds are baked here from primordial chaos.
If you were to look up at the night sky, your eyes would probably just glide right over the constellation Fornax. It's one of the most inconspicuous arrangements of stars up there. But what if I told you that this patch of sky, the seeming emptiness, is actually one of our most profound windows into the very dawn of time? And that brings us to a really fascinating paradox. The very thing that makes Fornax appear so uninteresting, its lack of bright stars, is precisely what makes it so invaluable to science. Because it's not cluttered with bright nearby stars from our own galaxy, it acts as a perfect, clean canvas. It gives our telescopes a crystal clear, unobstructed view into the deepest, earliest corners of the universe.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by really digging into that paradox of celestial emptiness. Then we'll establish its basic coordinates and dimensions, its astronomy. After that, we'll uncover the incredible astrophysical treasures hidden within it. We'll also explore its surprising human legacy, and we'll wrap up with a practical guide on how you can actually observe it yourself.
All right, let's begin with that foundational concept, celestial emptiness. The best way to think about it is this. Fornax's scientific power is inversely proportional to its visual brightness. It's located in a sort of cosmic desert, far from the glowing, hazy band of the Milky Way, and that gives us this perfect, clean shot into deep space.
So, to truly appreciate what we're looking at, let's first get a sense of the canvas itself. Just how big is Fornax, and where exactly does it sit on our map of the sky?
On the celestial sphere, Fornax covers an area of about 397.5 square degrees. Now that makes it the 41st largest of the 88 officially recognized constellations. So it's a respectable patch of sky, though certainly not one of the giants.
And here's the crucial part. Within that substantial area, a mere 57 stars are bright enough to be seen with the unaided eye. This scarcity is the key to its utility. Visually, it's sparse. It's a dark backdrop against which the deepest cosmic structures can finally be resolved.
Now, Fornax is fundamentally a southern hemisphere constellation, so your ability to see it really depends on your latitude. If you're anywhere south of 50 degrees north, you'll be able to see the whole thing. If you're further north than that, it'll just skim the horizon, and if you're north of 71 degrees, well, I'm afraid it never rises at all. For those who can see it, the best viewing months are November and December, when it's highest in the sky.
Okay, now we arrive at the core of our discussion. This is where it gets truly exciting. Despite its dim appearance, Fornax is an absolute treasure trove for astrophysicists. Let's delve into the remarkable objects that make this constellation so pivotal to modern cosmology.
We're going to focus our attention on 4 key points of interest. The massive Fornax cluster of galaxies, a phenomenally powerful radio source known as Fornax A, the legendary Hubble Ultra Deep Field, and, just for reference, the constellation's brightest star, Alpha Fornacis.
First, the Fornax cluster. After the famous Virgo cluster, this is the second closest rich galaxy cluster to us. It's a gravitationally bound metropolis of about 58 major galaxies and hundreds of smaller dwarf systems, all orbiting a common center of gravity, which is dominated by the giant elliptical galaxy NGC 1399.
Next, we have Fornax A, a galaxy with a fascinating and violent dual identity. If you look at it in visible light, it appears to be a calm, well-behaved lenticular galaxy, but if you switch your view to the radio spectrum, a completely different story emerges, a story of chaos. This galaxy is a cosmic cannibal. It grew to its immense size by absorbing and devouring smaller spiral galaxies, and those violent mergers fed its central supermassive black hole, which is now blasting out these colossal, invisible jets of energy.
And this brings us to a critical question. If a single, seemingly calm galaxy can hide such violence, then what could possibly be concealed within the darkest, most featureless patch of sky in this already dim constellation? What lies in the true void?
To answer that very question, between 2003 and 2004, astronomers pointed the Hubble Space Telescope at a single point of absolute blackness within Fornax. And for 11 straight days, it just stared. It collected every single photon it could from that one spot, patiently accumulating light from the furthest reaches of the observable universe.
The result was one of the most important images ever taken in the history of astronomy, the Hubble Ultra Deep Field. In a patch of sky so small you could cover it with a grain of sand held at arm's length, Hubble revealed nearly 10,000 galaxies. We are seeing light that has traveled for over 13 billion years. It's a snapshot of the universe as it was just a few 100 million years after the Big Bang.
So, we've examined what's in Fornax, but what about its human history? The story of how it got its name actually charts a major shift in our thinking, from ancient myths to the scientific age.
You see, unlike the ancient constellations of the zodiac, Fornax is a modern invention. Its name, however, has ancient roots in the Roman goddess of ovens. In 1754, the French astronomer Nicolas-Louis de Lacaille formally designated this region of sky as Fornax Chemical, the chemical furnace. The name was later challenged, but it ultimately stuck, shortened to the version we use today, Fornax, the furnace.
And what's really fascinating here is Lacaille's philosophy. While charting the southern skies, he made a deliberate choice. He decided not to name his new constellations after mythical beasts and ancient heroes. Instead, he chose to honor the instruments of science and art. So Fornax wasn't named for a specific person. It was a tribute to the entire science of chemistry and the furnace that was so central to its practice.
And this creates a beautiful symbolic arc, doesn't it? The name began with the Roman goddess who oversaw the simple furnace for baking grain, transforming raw material into sustenance. And now, that same name designates a celestial furnace, a cosmic crucible, where the chaos of the early universe was forged into the ordered matter of stars and galaxies.
All right, finally, let's move from the theoretical to the practical. Now that we understand the profound importance of this constellation, how can you actually go out and see these things for yourself?
Well, observation requires patience and, ideally, some optics. First, you need an anchor point. Locate the very bright star Achernar at the end of the constellation Eridanus. Fornax lies just to the northwest of it. With a good pair of binoculars, you can easily spot its brightest star, Alpha Fornacius, and maybe even the faint, misty smudges of the brightest cluster galaxies. But with a telescope, the region truly comes alive. The Fornax cluster becomes a prime target, and focusing on the beautiful barred spiral galaxy NGC 1365 offers one of the most spectacular views in all of amateur astronomy.
So, in the end, Fornax teaches us a fundamental lesson. We must always look deeper. Its apparent emptiness is not a void. It is an invitation. It is a clear window into the cosmic kitchen, where the ingredients of our very existence were first forged. And so, I will leave you with this question. We've just explored the incredible history hidden in one tiny, dark patch of sky. If this one empty spot is so profoundly rich, what astonishing secrets do the countless other dark corners of our universe hold, just waiting for us to point our telescopes and have the patience to look?
Thank you, friends. Strive for understanding and become wiser. See you soon.